happening right now? Who would like to share?
I would say, Alex.
Yeah.
I would say when the whole COVID-19 thing hit, and there was an initiative for quarantining and all that. That it gave people an opportunity to slow down and sort of become families again and put their attention to what was at the root of what was important, love and family, and just things like that.
So you find that this event actually forced people to be more present to family, yes?
Yes. Yeah, family and friends.
Yeah, it's very, very, very interesting that, and some people when they get into this family thing, do you see that they actually have to force to communicate?
Mm-hmm. And in some cases, not even through text.
Exactly. and the funny thing is, our culture has we call civilized family, yes?
Yes.
And yet the family dynamics, they spend more time at work or at school than at home. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So for those of you guys, I somehow cannot see the comments on Facebook, so I'm gonna have to address it after the event, and I'm gonna go back to the Facebook and look at it, even though I can see Facebook, but I cannot see the comments somehow. So next time, join me on Zoom, and I can see your chat and things like that, and you all can get to talk as well. So, but in the meantime, I'm gonna address your questions, so feel free to go ahead and type it, and at the end of the evening, I'll go back and take a look at it and respond to you guys. Okay, so we will address that for you guys as well. So yes, so the virus is definitely making people get present to something. I tell people, when things like that happens, if people are on their spiritual path, like on their soul path, it doesn't affect them. Actually, it helps them. Okay, it's almost like it's easier, it amplifies, it works better. But when people are kind of on the soul path, but one foot on, one foot off, okay, so it works, but not so good or okay. But when somebody is not on their soul path, it's like they don't want to be, they're just 100% working, or they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff and just don't want. When this happens, it will hit them, and it's like a spiritual 2x4 that they have to look at it and like, wake up. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let me see. Anybody else want to share a positive or something positive that you all see that's happening right now?
What I'm noticing is everybody's connecting more deeply with each other, whether it's on Zoom or on the phone. I just feel a deeper connection with everyone.
Exactly. People actually have to interact one-on-one. Even with Zoom, they have to see each other. They cannot be all over the place. But when they interact at work or something like that, or at home, and it makes them be present to the level of communication that they have, yes? Or what's even missing. Perfect. So anything else?
At the very beginning, what I loved seeing before people were wearing the masks is there was more pausing, many, many more smiles, more politeness, more kindness. And
before the mask.
Before the mask, when you could really see the smiles. Yeah, that was immediate. Absolutely. First thing.
Yeah. It's amazing how sometimes it's like you go out there, you try to smile and you have a mask on, you know, it doesn't quite work, you know. Yeah, and so things like that. Okay, anybody else? Nobody mentioned, who's that?
Ashley.
Ashley, okay.
I think that there is a serious mental shift occurring with everyone because, well, for 3 different reasons. The first one is we're all having to kind of look at our own selves and look at our behaviors and our patterns and just really be present with them because we're forced now that we have the time to be aware. And then 2, I think we're also learning, especially in the workplace, you know, I think our beliefs are changing around what does it mean to be productive? What does it mean to, you know, engage with people, you know, the barriers of what's professional and what's not professional. I think all of that is shifting because people are realizing that, you know, there are other ways to connect besides and be productive besides having to do, you know, the outdated theme of our past. And then I also think that on a collective thing, I know at least for me, I've picked up on a lot of anxiety collectively. But I also believe that the good thing that has come out of this is that people are learning more to release control and to actually trust in a higher power.
Very good observation there. Yes, a lot is happening. So, you know, I'm so glad all of you all are here. Tonight's did anybody read my email on what tonight's conversation is about?
Yes.
Yes.
What's the higher purpose?
All right. Well, higher purpose or
the higher perspective of the current times now.
perfect. Higher perspective. What does that mean? Okay, so I'm looking at everybody. I'm scanning at everybody because I'm looking at the conversation where we're actually going to look at the higher perspective of what's going on here. Okay, and so what does that mean? So all of you guys here, and I want to invite you guys to keep an open mind here as we prepare ourselves to listen from what's going on, not just the coronavirus, but also the Black Lives Matters and all of that happens. And I'm going to give you guys a perspective that, you know, I want you guys to be able to hear from a spiritual perspective as well. Okay, so is that okay with you guys? Okay, so, and like I said, this is something very different, and I want you guys to really listen to it, process it, and if you have any questions, feel free to put your hand up and talk about it. It will help others to understand this perspective as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I want everybody to just take a deep breath and just release. And when you take another deep breath and just release all the chatter and all the energy in the body just to be with yourself. And when you take the next breath also, I want you all to just release what's in your mind, what you see, what is bothering you. Just let it all go. And the next thing that I want you all to do is, I want you, as you take another breath, I want you to open your mind to allow yourself to see from your higher self the part that you do, that you have in these times, and the lesson that you have from this journey. Okay. Thank you, Divine Spirit, for bringing us all here together so that we can hear from a higher perspective. of what is going on. So I want to start something very simple here for you guys to hear. And the people that have worked with me, I always start with everything happens for a reason. Yes?
Yes.
And I always say everything happens for a good reason. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go backwards a little bit. And each and every one of us are on a soul journey. Yes?
Yes.
So what does that mean? And I see the people in this group believe there is a soul.
Yes.
And that we believe that we come to earth as a soul being on a human journey, is it not?
Yes.
And if that is the case, I'm going to put out the proposition for you guys here, and for the people who have not heard this, but for you guys that understand it, it's easy. Every soul that comes to earth have something for them to learn for themselves, is it not? And if that is the case, for different people who have different beliefs, that when they come to earth to learn something, my understanding is that each of us have a choice of what we want to learn. Each of us can, in some philosophy that says, you know, we will ask God and God will help us plan so that we can learn something for our soul to grow. And that includes every soul gets to choose the lesson plan first. And after the lesson plan, they also get to choose where they want to learn it. And they get to also choose who they want to learn it with. And they also get the option of what lesson with different people. And also go into more detail here for all souls people that can understand this. They actually also get the option of where they want to learn this lesson. And taking this example, like when it's time for you to go to college, and when you want to learn computer science, you got to choose which university that has computer science, or if you want to learn music or art, it is a good idea to choose a university that is specialized in that, is it not? So in order for the soul to learn the most out of each journey, one gets to choose where one go. And now here's where the detail comes into play, where it's beautiful, okay? Where the soul also gets to choose the part it wants to play in history. Understand? And when they choose the part they want to play in history, they now also have to choose. I'm going to have to mute Kathy. Okay. They now also have to choose whether they're female or female, that will actually get the job done. And they will also have to choose the body type. And like a lot of people know that I want to come back as a football player next life, because I've never played football in all my soul life. So I cannot come back as a small little Asian boy to play football, yes? Because that body will not last. Okay, so the next body type, you know, I'm going to be big, okay?
Redskins.
No, Cowboys. You remember America's team, okay?
Oh, man. No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I'm inviting all of you to come and join me and have fun. Okay. So.
Heaven Can Wait.
Say that again.
Heaven Can Wait. Remember the movie?
Oh yes, Heaven Can Wait. Correct. I love that movie. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking at different ways of transforming people. It's like I can be a priest, I can be a monk, but those things requires, you know, only one group of area of people to transform, and it's a lot of work to transform and a lot of training. And nowadays, religion is a little bit not as acceptable. And I said, a movie star. Well, a movie star could do it, but people don't believe movie stars. It's all made up story. Okay.
Does this mean you want to go? You want to be a pro ball player, not necessarily little league?
Oh no, I want to be the Dallas Cowboys superstar quarterback. You get that?
Superstar, Super Bowl
superstar
winner.
Quarterback. Where I'm going to transform the game of football. Where I'm going to say football is now not just a game of beating each other up, but a game to master oneself. You know, and to teach them how to be their own self and believe in their own self. But so when I'm famous, I can go to any school and go and talk and teach the kids, and everybody will just telecast it all over the country and all over the world, and the kids will learn so quickly. And I have people who wants to write a book about it, and I have people who wants to help me and be my coach, and I have receivers, running back, quarterback. So you know, we got a team going. So let's come back and play and have fun transforming the world.
Alex, what do you think salaries will be then?
We are going to have such a good life transforming people. So salaries will be wonderful. So when I have that option to plan something so beautiful, when you have the ability to actually go back in your own life, to actually look at how I come into this life, and I've looked at so many people's life to see why they are in this current life right here, right now, with this body, with this venture, with this trouble, or with this adventure. It's really, really interesting when you go back and see all the details of what they have planned for, the contract that they have created to be a part of each other's journey is so beautiful. Okay? So if you can understand what I'm saying here, in the sense that we get to choose the body type, the family dynamics, whether you have it or don't have it, hallmark or no hallmark, okay? Sorry, mine is not hallmark, okay? So for you guys who have hallmark, I'm envious of you guys, okay? And Elizabeth has such a wonderful relationship with her mother watching this show together. I'm just so envious. So thank you for sharing how beautiful it can be, okay? But every one of that is to actually help the soul to learn something really powerful. So now, if you choose, or if I choose to come, oh, beautiful birdie, to come to experience what it's like to be hurt, then what do I have to design in my life?
Pain.
Pain. It has to happen, is it not? And if I'm here to come to overcome jealousy, then what has to happen in my life? Something happens. So if I am going through this, and you so happen to be such spiritual teachers and gurus, okay? And you guys say, you want to help me because I'm going through this. And you say, Alex, you don't need to go through this. Yeah, I'm going to teach you how you can avoid that completely. So is that really helping me or not?
Nope.
Why not?
How would you know without the experience? You must experience it.
So you help me avoid the experience, yes?
That would ruin the lesson.
So because that is in my curriculum of learning, you might avoid me at one age, but that's still in my curriculum, is it not? So will that happen to me again? It is very likely it will happen again because I need to learn that, yes? So I might have avoided it before, but it will learn again. So now, as you listen carefully with this thing here, I want you to really allow yourself to really think deeper now. So if I'm suffering through this jealousy or being a victim, because I designed it in my curriculum of my life, and I experience the pain so that I can overcome it to be powerful and strong. So now the question is, do you have to be sorry for my pain?
Nope.
Yes or no?
No.
No. So if I say no, that means you're a mean person because you don't care about me.
Nope.
But society says you should be kind, you should be nice to me because I'm suffering, Joe.
Society says a lot of things, don't they? It's like,
Stay with me. This is a higher perspective conversation here. So just allow yourself to really look at that. Okay. So understand society. This is, I'm just bringing you, this is like society, spiritual, soul. Okay. So we're looking at all three different dimensions here now. So I'm going to introduce, like, society says, oh, I'm so sorry, Joe. That is so terrible for you. You shouldn't go through that. Let me give you some chicken soup for you.
oh, please don't. No.
So it might taste good, yes? It might feel good, yes?
No.
But did I help him learn his lesson?
No.
I made him feel good. The human side of us wants that. It feels good. Oh, let me give you a nice big hug. Okay. You know, like I look at Elizabeth. Can my mom give me a hug? I can't. She cannot give it to me. I'm not gonna get it. Maybe I should go over to Elizabeth's mom and say, can I borrow your hug?
Alex, you have mom smiling so big.
Is that right? Once in a while when she must sneak the camera over to her. You know, so here's what I'm saying. So if I choose to go through a painful life, to overcome something to be big, do you have to be sorry for my choice?
Nope.
From this perspective, it doesn't make sense to be sorry. You see that? From this perspective, so now what can we do about that? So if we don't have to be sorry for the person's journey to learn something, and like I said, in society, you actually go to Facebook, you'll see, if you don't pity for me, you're not my friend anymore. You've seen those things, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just stay in here. There's no wrong, no right in this conversation.
Just what it is.
They're on their journey and their path. The question is, how do you process it? Because you guys are here for this conversation. Understand? So that incident that's happening for them right now is changing a culture. It is time. It is very, very serious. They needed it. It is time. We needed it because we're talking about it. It has brought us to a whole new awareness of what's going on. So because we are living in this life, in this time, we have a part in it. And you guys get to choose how you all want to play. You can be powerful about it, or you can hide from it, or you can be impacted by it. It's your choice as well.
How do you discern that, Alex?
The discernment, I'm going to keep sharing with you. The way to discern this thing is, first, without information, you cannot choose. The best way to start making decisions like discernment, choices, is to wake up and be present to what is going on. Understand? And then after that, then you can choose, or you can see the part that you play. If you don't wake up, most people will be afraid of it. It's a good idea. Fear is actually a trigger for us to learn something. So if you are afraid, just give you a clue, there's something for you to learn, and I'll come back to that again. Okay, so I just want to go a little bit bigger picture here on a higher perspective here. So every part here on us, for us, we have a part to learn from it, to do something about it, or to do nothing about it. If you don't have a contract with any of these things, you don't have to do anything. But if you have a big contract to do something, you can do all kinds of things. And like I said, everything happens for a reason. There's no wrong and right. It's an individual choice, paying attention to individual soul's journey. So all of that said, I pondered upon how to help you guys see something here, or how to help anybody see something here. And I wanted to share a story that I've never shared before with you guys from this level. So hang with me over here, because it's personal and it's kind of deep, and just stay open-minded with that conversation for me. Okay? You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So, I really thought about what's going on here and how my life in this journey at this time in this world, it impacted me. So I went all the way back to when I was a little boy, grew up in Malaysia, happy-go-lucky. And I was like 4'3" at the time. And I love the sun, so my skin is like so brown and so skinny. Okay, Malaysia sun is really hot, and I love the outdoors. I play all the time, and I was an altar boy, and I love being an altar boy, and I go to church every day and just so loving it. And so my parents said, "Wow, you love this, and you're so smart. Why don't we send you to England to go to school?" So at the age of 13, they sent me to England. And I was so excited. I went to England. And it's a whole culture shock. So I, happy-go-lucky, love to have so many friends. So I automatically go and make friends with these people, the English people. I'm the only Chinese, or only Malaysian or Chinese foreigner. And this is a private all-boys Catholic boarding school. Okay, so I look for the people. I go talk to the men, go talk to the boys, and I talk to the leader of the boys. And so I just opened myself. I shared everything. They asked me, it's like, do people live in trees? I said, oh, I live in the city, but I go to visit the people in the country, like the native people, the Ibans. And I said, oh yeah, they are headhunters, and they live in long houses and in the jungle, and they wear very little clothes. Okay. So I just spill out all this thing, and I just shared everything that I asked them, and I trusted. I'm like I said, a little older boy, is so happy, just wanting to share everything, nothing of that. And then as the week goes by, people start to walk away from me. I start to wonder, why is that? And they start to, avoid me. And it's like, I bring my tray to eat with them and they walk away from me. And I want to go play with them. They say, no, we don't want to play with you. And for several weeks it go on, I couldn't stand anymore. I finally I got to get an answer. Why is it? Because from they're playing to me to suddenly don't want to play with me. And they even call me names. Okay. It's like, oh, it's like, so I finally got one boy who's studying to become a priest. And I go and grab him and I say, Sheikh, can you tell me what's going on? He says, you really don't know? I don't know. I said, he says, everybody, the leader of the boy spread a rumor and tell everybody that I am a headhunter. And because of my dark skin, I am like the low class, like the slave people, like the low class in England, or like the people that over there. I am the jungle people. And he even warned everybody, be careful. Don't turn your back on him. He might chop your head off. So it's like, nobody wants to play with me. I got so angry. And then they do really scary jokes on me that got me so angry. From a happy little boy to an angry person. And I got so angry. And then when they are all laughing at me, they're all walking away. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I've never experienced this before. And I don't have a parent to go to because this is an old boys Catholic boarding school. And at that time, there's no telephone, no internet. I cannot contact anybody. I have to survive as a 13-year-old little boy. The English people are so big. So I become so scared of the world, so scared of the English people. And Christmas time, they all come with their limousines and Rolls Royce, and they all pick their kids up and go home. And I'm left all alone by myself with a little dog, black and white dog, that I just walk in there. But what I didn't know is that happened to me at 13 years old. It completely changed. One person completely changed my demeanor of my life. From a happy-go-lucky boy to a boy who becomes so serious, never laugh, so angry. And it went on when I went to Austin, Texas. I already feel I was like second-class citizen people. When I first went to Austin, Texas, I actually had reserved a dorm. They said my dorm was given away. They sent me all the way down to the basement where there's no window, there's 6 empty beds, and they made up one bed for me. For the whole semester, I was sent all the way down in the bottom. And so I was like, why am I here? I didn't know the culture of America. And so when I go out to eat in the cafeteria, everybody look at me funny. The Texans, even the blacks look at me funny. So I get experience from all this culture, from all the different people that look at me funny. So I thought that, well, nobody likes me. I'm not important. I just have to come to school. I just have to focus and go to school and just study and go home. But every time so many things, people make jokes on me and I get so angry with life. But what I didn't realize is every little thing adds up to so much anger in me that I was so explosive. You guys haven't seen that explosive side on me. I was so explosive that every job that I go to, I have to prove myself because I didn't think I'm good enough. So I worked 60, 70, 80 hours for 40 hours work. And they walk all over me, giving me job to do and stuff like that. And I feel like I'm not lovable. And I end up with 2 marriages because I have to prove my lovable, and I never could do enough for the other person. And it didn't work, of course. But because I still also have that demeanor that is so explosive from all these things that has been built up, I get so angry that my marriage didn't even work because of the angerness. That is not a fun life. So everywhere I go, I feel I was mistreated. I was looked down. And so I don't want to be a part of the group. I'm always invisible. I always hide. And after my second marriage, I said, something's wrong here. It's my spiritual 2x4. It's my second marriage. When my wife left with my kids, it hurt me so much that I had to actually go in and cry myself to wake up to my own spiritual journey. And I prayed to God. I said, God, give me a tool to see what I need to learn here. I prayed so hard. And for somebody who get angry from all the Catholic boys who don't even want to pray anymore, to start praying. I prayed so hard. I said, this hurts so bad. I need an answer. And a wonderful friend from my church came to me and says, you need to look at this thing. I said, what is it? It's the Landmark Forum. I said, oh, well, since I don't know, I don't think I can afford it. I'm like in the rock bottom, my life is bad. I don't think. She says, just go take a look. Well, I said, I pray for it. She came to me. I need to see. So I did. And I went to see, and I like it. And I said, but I cannot have it. This angel friend of mine says, here's $100. I'm putting it for you. You go. And I said, well, I don't know how to do it, but all right, I'll go, I don't know. And Spirit led me to wake me up to my new journey of life. I have to educate myself. And inside the Landmark Forum, I didn't even know I was going to get it. On the very day that on the very week that I have to go to pay for it, I didn't even know how to, but oh my God, somehow Spirit gave me the money to go, and I went. And I didn't even have a place to stay. And when I was there, Spirit opened the homes of people to house me for the whole weekend. It started a journey to wake me up. And I said to you, education is key. You have to have the desire to want to start to wake up and learn. And I saw that the people in the world are just as afraid of me, has gone through so much as I have. And I saw that they are just as scared of me as I am scared of them. Okay? But I literally delved in and studied for the next 5 years. Everything I can with all the different leaders, all the different people, 100%, nothing else, no personal life, I studied. And for those of you who knows me, you all know that I was like driving every Friday to Washington, D.C. People say, you're nuts. Okay, every Thursday to Baltimore for 6 months to study and understand this. But what I did is I discovered Alex Tan is a loving person, a lovable person. Alex Tan is not a second-class citizen. I discovered that Alex Tan can be treated fairly. And from another program, I discovered I am a leader. And I am a great leader. And I discovered that my voice, I have something of value to say to people. The world that I came from is nobody wants to hear me. I'm not lovable. I'm not important. Every restaurant that I go to, I get mistreated. Every place that I go to, every hotel that I go to, there's always something wrong. I get mistreated. Every work that I go to, I get taken advantage of because of my color, because of my accent, because of the way I talk. In waking up, when I educate myself, my whole way of being completely changed. I own that I am the leader, that people from now on will treat me fairly and lovingly. And everywhere I go, every restaurant that I go to will give me first-class service. I didn't know what that would have done. I just wanted it. I was so hungry. I was just so tired. My life didn't work. What showed up for me was so surprising. I thought I just said, oh, everybody treat me nicely. I want this. The next restaurant I go to, Denny's. If you all know Denny's, you know, Denny's is an American establishment and they're not known for their service, okay? Because I drive so late at night and everything. I said, no, I'm going to practice it. Even Denny's, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get first-class service. I sit down and I noticed, I observed myself that my attitude to the waitress was different. I greeted the waitress and I says, how are you all today? She said, oh man, it's crazy. Why don't you sit down and take my order? And I just greeted her. I said, why don't you sit down and take a break? And then and she suddenly felt so happy and just relaxing and just opened up and talked to me. And I said, wow, that was great service. But what I didn't know is my way of being shifted, that I interact with her completely different. Every single part of my life, I started to shift one at a time. I'm a computer scientist, so I look into every detail. I start to shift every single one of them. I was like not interacting with anybody. I was like practicing like loving. I would write my note. I'm practicing talking loving talk for the next 30 days. I'm practicing, looking at, that I am worthy. I write down, I'm worthy for the next 30 days, just walking that one thing. And for 4 years, I kept doing all of this and it kept going and it kept going and the whole world changed. And every time I say, I don't care my accent, people will hear what I have to say, more important than how I say it. People will understand me, even if I misspell, put wrong dates, or stumble how I say it. People will love what I have to say. And when I transform myself, my whole way of being changed. My world completely changed. From an unfair world to a beautiful world today. What I want you all to hear is the moment I took on be the change for myself, be the change. If I want people to treat me fairly, I have to treat myself fairly. I have to value myself to be treated fairly. I have to educate people that I am worthy to be treated fairly. And I told you that my temper, my demeanor was so angry. Because of the anger, I was so angry at everybody. I would blow up so loud that even my kids would be afraid of me. Do you understand that? So in my transformation of that, I says, that does not work. So I had to actually face my kids and says, was daddy scary to you? They said, yes. So in my transformation, I have to show them that now I'm a loving person. I let go of anger. I come from, I'm a loving person. I actually have to tell my kids, I am a different person today. Do you think they believe me? The first time I tell them, heck no. Why? Because I've been growing up. They've been so scared, yes? So I said, understandable. That is different. But let's create something. If I start to get angry at you, I want you to put your hand up and tell me, Daddy, are you angry at me or at somebody else? And I will know that is a signal for me to stop, that I'm starting to act automatically. My anger that I've been learning from 13 years old to 44 years old, that's almost 31 years of using it. Okay, so I have to shift that. And I said, okay. And every time I catch myself, no, I'm different. So I have to educate them that daddy is different. Daddy is no longer that scary, angry person. It was hard work for me. But because I committed to that, I'm going to be that loving father. I did it. I did it. They have a different relationship with me now because of my work. So what I'm saying to you guys is, if we want the world to see us differently, we have to educate ourselves, we have to grow ourselves, and we have to educate them inside relationship. When they say, oh, you know, people have seen some violent relationship. They are screaming at each other, and yet after they scream at each other, they say, I love you. Some people smack each other and they say, oh, I smack you because I just want to wake you up, but I love you. So what is the message to each other, yes? It's confusing, you get that? So if we want to show love, we've got to be love. We've got to be the change. If we want people to respect us, we've got to be the change. How does Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant get so much respect everywhere they go, and they are black? How does Walter Payton created such a beautiful, I want to win that Walter Payton trophy, by the way, next life, for those of you who know football, is Walter Payton created that if you win the trophy, that you are the football player that has made a difference in society. Okay, and contribution or something like that. So, but he created it. How did he do that? Michael Jordan was laughed at when he was playing basketball. When he started playing basketball, he couldn't even qualify for his high school team. But he put forth the effort, playing outside and training and shooting, and he put forth the effort. And he put forth the effort to develop himself to be the best player. And when he goes to play in the court, do you know that every coach is trained to get people to stop him from scoring? He can get angry at them very easily. But no, he actually elevates his playing game and look at different ways of getting his team involved to win 5 championships. And from then on, he continued. Everywhere he goes, he's highly respected. And yet he's a black person. How is that? What is the difference? From not even being able to be in a team to be highly respected big businessman now. And when he walks into a restaurant, does he expect to be treated unfairly? No, because he is the change, the being that he is. He walks in, head held high. He walks in that I will get first class service and people love me and I'm going to enjoy my meal. So I forgot to tell you when I started the subject, I wanted to say, the world is unfair. Sorry, you have to live with that. Well, when I grew up, I thought the world was unfair because it treated me so unfairly. Do you understand that? And thank you guys for just allowing me to formulate this story to share this with you, because this is the first time I've shared it in all this way. And everything that happens is I didn't have time to even develop it. I was just thinking what. And last night at 4 o'clock, I woke up and they said, share this. I'm like, okay, then I need to sleep too. But, at 4 o'clock, they told me it's like, I was sitting by the pond at 4 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't tell you what I was wearing, but but they told me to say this part and said this part. I says, all right. But what I'm saying here is, growing up, after one person changed my whole life, I left an unfair life. Do you understand that? Why? Because I thought the world was unfair. And so what do I get? An unfair world, is it not? So when where is it? When I change my perspective, all of a sudden, the unfair world starts to disappear. And now, I look at the world as it's a very fair world. Why is it a very fair world? Because I now see the world as a beautiful place. It's a beautiful journey. And now, everywhere I go, people treat me fairly. So, what if we put in this proposition that says, a lot of people understand The Secret. Have you all heard of that movie, The Secret? Yeah, a lot of people have seen The Secret. And what if The Secret is correct, that the law of attraction says what you are and what you're being is what you will get? So is that a fair thing? That would be fair, would it not? So what I didn't understood when I was going through and I was in the pit of my journey, struggling through life, was I saw the world as unfair. And of course, the law of attraction says, as you wish, Alex. And it delivered to me such a beautiful world of unfairness. I wouldn't call it beautiful when I was living it. I was saying it's crap. But when I shifted it, it is so beautiful that I get the opportunity to enjoy this morning. Before I start all this thing, I told Larry, I want to go to the beach. And the weather was so beautiful. We get to see the dolphins. We get to see the kids running around and families having fun together. And the water was so beautiful and the sun was like, it's like I'm on the beach with wind blowing like air conditioning. That's how cool the air is. It was so beautiful. We went there at 8:45. We reached there and we just sit there and I just let the words come in and I just enjoyed it. I just jumped in the water. Water was cool, but I let the words come in and and Larry just enjoyed herself. And when you know time went by, it's 1 o'clock. A beautiful world exists. An unfair world exists. So I'm proposing to you guys to be changed. If you take on being the change to change yourself for your life, whether it's fair, unfair, it doesn't matter. Test it out. If you want unfairness, I want angry people in my life today. And that was stupid of me, but I just wanted to test that theory. And guess what? Everywhere I go, there's angry people showing up in my life. I said, thank you. I've been in that world. It come back again. If I bring it, I'm not gonna have it. I tested my own theory. And that's why I'm so good at doing all of this meticulously with people. Right, Elizabeth?
5 years later, yes.
Alex, there's a saying, be the change you want to see.
Thank you. I'm proposing to you guys, I said, I have to educate myself in what I need to change, is it not? Just like Michael Jordan had to educate himself on how to be the best basketball player. You get that? Even when he won the first championship, he says, I need to study. He went back into the film room to study. What else can I add to my game to make it better? And that's one thing he added was called teamwork. He made his teammate better. That changed the game for him. So we have to educate ourselves. We have to be able to have the courage. Like I have the courage to ask my kids, are you afraid of me? I had to go back to my ex-wife and say, did I hear you? Did I listen to what you were telling me? She says, no. I said, thank you. I didn't give any excuse. I accepted her answer. And I says, I'm going to transform that. I'm going to learn how to listen.
Alex?
Yes, John.
It's the girl who gives you the hard, weird questions.
So it's now normal because that's the question you ask.
Right.
Okay.
I'm normalizing everything after the COVID-19.
Okay.
So, okay, so I've got the second half of the story.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the first half of the story.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously you're this, I call you a Diksha guru, right? And you have become this person because of that one person that really impacted you when you were 13 years of age.
Correct.
And I'm just one of these kind of people that goes to this side of things. I see the change that you've become. I've known you for over 11 years now. And you have completely shifted from the person that I knew when I first met you, when Linda Lucas brought me to your circle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like you to talk about how you've learned even the deeper lesson from that pain that you had that actually catapulted you into the person that you are today. Because because you wouldn't be able to reach into each one of our individual lives with all of our individual personalities if you had not gone through that experience when you were 13 years of age that set you on a course, your soul journey.
Mm-hmm.
So can you expound upon the first half of the story and why that had to take place? Because obviously law of attraction, you were this happy-go-lucky kid.
Oh, I was so happy-go-lucky. It's like my parents said, all you do is play, 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 Alex.
Yeah.
And actually now I use that. I'm going to play and transform people. So that's why I have fun transforming people. So, all right, very good question. Okay. So the first half is the journey that my soul has designed for me. Okay. That this is an awareness that I have grown for to learn about soul journey. So I love to study the detail of it. So the awareness of this is very important. It's like when you go through it, in any life, the first part of our life, sometimes it could be the first 5 years, it could be the first 7 years, it could be the first 21 years. The first is everybody have to go through what I call the element of human life. That they come here for, that they have no idea why it's like there's a blank slate that they just know, I have to suffer, I have to be shot, I have to shoot somebody, or I have to kick somebody, or somebody have to kick me. So the first part of the human life, we have to live the life of that human to learn the soul lesson. Understand? And then your soul will say, okay, at 21, it's time for you to wake up. It's for you to start to see something different. Or it's like at 33, it's time for you to see something different. It's time for you to see like all this crap that you have gone through. It's just for you to learn to be powerful. Okay. So sometimes it could be just that simple. And so, yes, remember I said I had my 2x4 when my second wife walked out of me. On the 4th of July, I came back. I thought I was going to go home and play from work. And coming home to an empty house where there's no kids, the house was all gone, everything's gone. My whole world just got ripped out underneath me. I had to completely, just like the COVID-19, is ripping up a lot of people. So I had to, I was so stubborn, I didn't want to change. So my soul had to just give me a strong 2x4 that I had to completely reevaluate my life. Or there's no point in living for me. I was at that point where I had to contemplate whether I want to live or to die. I had to make a choice. So we all have that point. Because I have been through it, I understand where people are and I can see that. So when I make that choice, like I told you, I had to pray to God. I says, help me see this. And then when I see it, I committed myself to growing and changing. So we have to commit to something. If not, we'll just do it half-half. If not, we'll just say, well, I'll try. How many of us heard that? I'll try to lose weight. I'll try to get healthy. And we have wonderful reasons, lists of reasons. I said, be the change. It's not trying. It's shifting your way of being to be that. I said, I got an index card I put on the mirror. I said, if I want somebody to be patient with me, I have to write the word patient and I put it on my mirror and I walk for that week practicing just that one word called patient. So my commitment to change we all know that when we are ready, the teacher, the tools will come. So the moment I was ready, I had a soul that contract to help me, to bring me to the resources that I need to change. We all have that. You guys are here because I have agreed to be a part of your journey in today's transformation of the world from a different perspective, not from a social conversation, but from we are the change. And then the one part that I want to add to you guys, if we are the change, once we shift, if you want to make a bigger difference, then we are the instrument of change. I had to accept that. So what makes you talk about how deep I am? At first, I just wanted to grow. The next thing I wanted to grow is I wanted to get a deeper meaning understanding of life. And so when I got that, I said, I want to make a difference in people. And when I said I want to make a difference in people in a very different way, I had to pray. I had to go into my mind and say, okay, I didn't want to do it, but Spirit led tell me, says, Alex, this is what you're supposed to do. So I accepted, but I negotiate with Spirit, okay? I just don't accept blindly. so I negotiate with Spirit. I said, Spirit, if you want me to do this Spirit work, I will quit my work, but you're going to have to send me people. You're going to have to send me people who are committed to change. I'm not interested in people who are tire kicking or half and half stuff. I will send them home. Okay? And so I made an agreement with Spirit. And I made an agreement to the souls that I have a contract with, that when I stand for them, they will share it. No doubt about it. If they're willing to do the work and committed to me, there is no choice but shift. But if they're not willing to do the work, they're, things like that, then they shift as much as what they can. That's all it is. Okay? So, yes, I have to put up my hand and says, I agree to be the change. And I agree to be the instrument of change. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so hopefully that answers. So those are, I know I go a lot deeper and longer here today because it's a different kind of conversation. I want to address people. So now I'm going to ask you a really deep question again. So the people that are going through the slavery, and I was asking Larry, I was just studying some of the history. I didn't get a chance to study a lot of the history. I asked her, when did slavery got stopped in America? She said it was in 1864 or 5 or something like that, yes? When Lincoln abolished slavery or something, and the
Civil War, right?
Yeah, the Civil War, the North win the South or something like that. So I calculated, I said, so it's 160 years since then. So in the first 80 years is the first generation of the people who automatically have been living in that world, is it not? Mm-hmm. The people who are slaves and the people who are having slaves, is it not? So they haven't changed, yes? So they just got shocked that they cannot do what they have been doing, yes? So they will have kids. So the next generation, in the next 60 to 80 years again, is their kids. So their kids still learn from their parents that this is life. It's unfair, it's it's like, this is unfair, we were second class. So they learn how not to, but it does not mean that they completely have shifted their way of being. You get that? So in the second generation, it's the kids of these people and the people who are slaves, owners, or slaves. The mindset. And let me ask you guys, how fast do you all shift? How stubborn are you all sometimes? Oh, believe me, I know some of you guys, it takes years to change one thing. Oh, sometimes it's like you are so attached to your story. Yes, Deck, welcome to human journey. There are people who can shift like that, and there are people who cannot shift like that. So if you look logically at this human pathway, instead of getting angry, instead of getting afraid, educate yourself. I actually studied that a little bit, and I'm going to study a little bit more again, because if you look at the generation, like in Egypt, Egypt has been, by the way, slavery existed long before today. And in every generation, it existed, in every country it existed. Even right here, right now in Africa, it still exists. Okay, not just here. Everywhere it still exists. In any country, it always has. So I want, like I said, to talk about it from a whole different perspective, in the sense that if the first generation says stop, how long does it take for human to actually completely transform that conversation? Yes? I said we have to educate those people. That means we have to learn who is still in that mindset and who is not in that mindset, who is afraid of that mindset, and how to be the instrument of change. So this, if you understand that that is human nature, that old person, how many people heard this phrase? All habits die hard. If you grew up eating bacon and eggs every morning, and you come to the city and they say, oh, by the way, that's terrible for you. You have to drink vegetarian a smoothie for you. Do you think they will accept that choice? Believe me, you try to tell a farmer to come here and say, oh, this is best for you, vegetarian smoothie. He look at you, what are you, nuts? Give me my bacon and eggs. Why? Because that's human nature. So if you understand human nature, instead of getting angry at, no, this is best, you are dying, you need to eat this smoothie, it's gonna help you. He said, I'd rather eat my bacon and eggs and die happy. So human nature are very stubborn. And when you study this, that I help you guys study, the people who study with me, they also understand the soul age and the soul type. The warrior soul will fight you all the way. If you understand that, you're going to start laughing. It's like, he's a warrior. No point trying to tell him, give him bacon and eggs until something breaks down. Then you can say, okay, are you ready to change? They'll do it once they see it. Not us telling them. So the method of helping them shift is for us to learn, for us to master, and for us to master sharing the transformation available to them. So you guys are here in today's journey is to look at what is. So you have to listen to what is the problem, what are they screaming, what are they calling for. Don't be afraid. I had to call my friend up, and says, okay, what did you make of this thing? Because I want to hear the perspective from the Black. I made my stupid mistakes too. And she started like, whoa, she told me, it's like, you don't get it. I said, whoa, that is very volatile. Tell me what I didn't get. I'm willing to hear. And so she's proceeded to tell me, I says, I got it. Thank you. This is what you mean. I'm willing to hear If I'm not willing to educate myself to here, there's no way we can help them. We don't understand what we need to do even. How could we help them? How could we discern what we want to be a part of? So what I'm saying is, if you look at the generation gap, generation number 1, they're stuck with that. Generation number 2, they teach the kids, you should do it this way still. And the kids start to think, no, this is not right. So there's rebellious kids, there's kid that says, okay, that's the way it is. So there's ones that are stuck to it, and the other ones that says, no, we shouldn't do that. And so the third generation, this is where we are. It's like, no, the other side says the same thing too. That says, before we were tolerating it, now it's like, no, we cannot have it. We don't want it anymore. We want to change. So this is the perfect time where it happens, so that we now reevaluate social norm. Understand? If you look at the generation flow, the timing of the soul, they have to evolve. It's perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be. So the question is, what part do you want to play in this journey of your life with them and with society? And like I said, you are free to choose any one of this. Okay? And if you want to understand what is your soul path or your soul contract or your soul agreement to do it, if you need help, I'm here available for you guys to help you. But you guys get to choose and see how you all want to play. Do you understand that? I said, be the instrument, but be the change. And that's a powerful phrase. I remember hearing it somewhere a long time ago, but last night they says, you need to share this message with them. I says, okay. So I didn't get a chance to find out the quote. Somebody says, be the change somewhere. But it is important here that so I saw that when I changed for myself, my relationship with my kids changed. The world relating to me changed. I have to educate the world. Because when I go to work, the people will still treat me the old me. So I have to look at the people and says, no, that's not acceptable anymore. The new Alex does not accept this anymore. So I have to have the language to share with that world that I am a different person. That it's time for you to treat me differently. Just like Michael Jordan, if he were to go to, when he was in school, when he was rejected and not be accepted into the high school, and if he go to the restaurant, how does he get treated then? Not very favorably. And now, after 5 rings, he goes to the restaurant. How does he get treated? Completely different, first class. You get that? When he flew to the resort called Atlantis, he rented the $20,000 a night room for his family. Amazing. Okay, so he has transformed his world. It is up to us to transform our world and how they play and how the world sees us. But we have to be the one to help them see us in the new light, yes? If we expect them to see us in the new light, how could we? Like my kids, when I was angry, how could my kids see me that I'm a new dad? Just how many people that you've heard that in relationships, I'm going to be different now? How many people heard in relationships say, oh, I'm different now? How cautious are we when they say that? Human nature, not many people actually are committed to change. So if you understand human nature, why do you expect them to change the mindset from non-slavery to from slavery to non-slavery just like that? Stubbornness, we have to educate them. It takes time. Like I have to educate my kids. It takes time. And we have to have the patience, and we have to come from the space of love to educate them. So this is a big part for you guys to look at what role. So you all have to have the courage to look at what is, What are they going through? What is the world that they're talking about? And to some of us, we have not been exposed to that world. And like I said, it's okay because it's time now for us to wake up to see. So wherever you are is that you guys have now, you know, grown to a point where it's time for you all, that you all can choose the part that you want to play. But in order to choose, you got to see what is the part that you want to play. Is to look at that, educate yourself, grow from there, choose a role, be the change, and be the instrument to make a difference in the world. So I gave you all a roadmap here to play in this thing here. Does it help your mindset on how to play or what to do for yourself?
Yes.
So I'm gonna open the floor up here for you all to ask questions. So to see how to, you know, whatever questions you all have. So go ahead, everybody. Mic up, open, and who wants to speak, speak.
Alex, I would be interested to know what your friend said to you when you called and asked,
Sure.
however it was a question that you asked.
Sure. You know, I was asking her, you know, very simple. I was asking her, you know, what do you think of this Black Lives Matter conversation? And she's black, okay? And she says, you know, we have been mistreated so bad for so many times. I said, and knowing me, you know, I like to joke with her. I was playing with her, and I said, but all life matters. She got so triggered.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Alex, you don't get it. I says, whoa, slow down. Help me understand what I didn't get. You just belittle me, she says. Black Lives Matter is, I'm trying to tell you that life matter. And I completely apologize to her. I says, you know, I can see now. I says, you know, if I say that to you, all life matters, that means I just diluted what you were trying to say to me.
Alex, can I say something real quick?
Who's this?
Rhonda.
Okay, go ahead and say something. I was trying to look at who's talking. Okay, go ahead.
So today is actually an important day of Juneteenth, called Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Which is the end of slavery and also the anniversary of the riot.
Say what was the day for?
It's for the anniversary of the end of slavery.
Okay. Is it on this day that slavery ended?
Yes.
How appropriate we're talking about it today, yes?
Yeah. It's also the anniversary of the riots that destroyed what they called Black Wall Street, which is why today is such a big, important day in the African American and Black community.
Okay.
And like the Black Lives Matter, if you guys don't mind, I want to read something that my niece wrote, who's 14.
Okay, can you pause for a second? I just want to make sure that I address and answer Peggy's question because she asked a very good question. So did that help you, Peggy?
Well, I was just curious because I was in a conversation with a Black friend and made the comment that I found Bishop Jake to be an excellent speaker. I just seen him on the news that morning. Mm-hmm. She said, that's microaggressive. And I'm going, you know, what's microaggressive?
Correct.
So I went and researched it and
mm-hmm.
went, okay, because here's where the perspective really comes into play. Because how instead of being taken as a compliment, it was taken to mean that I would never have expected to hear a Black man being an excellent speaker. That's what it meant to the other person.
Correct.
So it's very interesting.
Can you see how we thought something, but they take it a different way, yes?
Absolutely.
You know, like I thought that, you know, they should protest like Martin Luther King, yes? And you know what they say? That didn't work anymore. That didn't work anymore. Like somebody was sharing with me that the Boston Tea Party is a riot that happened that actually changed something.
Mhm.
So, and they actually said to me, you know, no, we cannot do that. It didn't change. So I had to understand that. That's why I had to like really listen in, not take it personal, to really listen to that. So thank you for asking the question. And it does take courage to understand the world and not take it personal.
Yes.
Okay, Kianda, so please share the story, please.
Okay, so my niece is interracial. So she's a very light-skinned African-American young girl. She's 14. And she is now going through in school with a lot of her friends who are white, and they're saying, well, white lives matter also, so we should say all lives matter. And this was her response that I felt was really eloquent, and also I hope it will add to the part of this conversation. So she said, in response to your story, she goes, I feel the need to explain how now is not the time to say all lives matter. Saying that all lives matter implies that races are already treated equally, which is far from the truth. Saying Black lives matter doesn't take away from other races. It means that Black lives matter just as much. Right now, people of color are facing unbelievable amounts of racism. More and more often, these acts of racism are costing lives. Peaceful protests aren't working anymore because people have been protesting peacefully for years and it hasn't done anything. She goes, I agree that violence is never the best way to go, but to an extent, it can be necessary at a moment. She goes, looting and hurting others is never okay, and stealing is very unnecessary. But we also have to understand that most of the violence isn't started by protesters, because then she's talking about the kind of counter protesters. But then to go back, she talks about, but the police, the media, and everyone making Black Lives Matter movement seem dangerous and immoral, when in reality right now it's much more important than ever to be heard, because too many innocent lives are being taken for no reason. And this is why she says specifically Black Lives Matter. So.
And how old is she?
14.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and that was her response on an Instagram post.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, isn't
That's
it?
microaggression, Alex.
I'm sorry,
You're
Errol?
acting like 14-year-olds can't be smart.
Well, it's time for us to wake up today. Okay. So
the important part of that is a lot of people, and I have this conversation frequently about why all lives matter instead of Black Lives Matter. And for me, her reasoning for that and her understanding of that, I think, was huge, because she's not saying, and the movement is not saying, that other lives don't matter. But the reality is that often Blacks and African American lives have been systematically like having small things that have been said. I have a bunch of different stories like that wouldn't happen to somebody like myself. And so they hear it and they see it. And now just like with Alex, just repetitive things, then it starts to make you feel more and more oppressed and more feeling like it's racially because of race instead of because of something else.
oh yeah, once things like that happen, it starts to repeat itself. You start to believe that the world is unfair, that everybody is unfair, or you are different. Okay, so that's why I say, how can we make a difference? I really had to I had several sleepless nights. It's like, how can we make a difference? I said, be the change is the power of making a positive difference. Help them change their world for themselves. Okay, and because when you are coming from a space of, and by the way, Kianda, thank you so much for stepping up to want to create a place where a community can come and express their anger or frustration. That was a big job. That thank you for taking on that with so understanding that this is an important space for people to come so that they can express that. Okay, so and then help them to release that anger so that they can actually now come from a very creative space of solution and action. Okay, so yeah, so she's taking a big part right now. She's designing a program to help those community people in her in her studio. Okay, so that is a step that she's already chosen to take. So thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Aren't you glad you're part of this conversation tonight?
Yeah, it's difficult usually for me to get away on a Friday, but I took off.
Thank you. And so, you know, and so what I'm saying here is the world is changing. It is time. It really is time. Like I say, if you look at the generation time, this is the generation of the kids, the grandkids of the people. They are going to be changing their kids' generation, that the world in their kids will now be experiencing equality. You understand that? But we have to start here today.
Alex?
Okay. So, you know, and I'm still learning. You know, I haven't got all of that. I'm still learning, and I'm still talking to different people, you know, on what they are looking for. You know, if we in any relationship, if people are screaming and they are not heard, just like you, if you are saying something and the person that you say to don't hear you, how do you feel? You all don't feel anything?
No one heard. It's lousy.
It hurts. It's lousy. And then when you really want to say your point of view and they don't hear you, how do you feel?
Dismissed.
Completely dismissed. You get angry. You get that? You know, so understand that's just the human nature's reaction. So if you understand that, you know how to shift that, you know how to work with that, you know how to give them a platform for listening to diffuse that quickly.
Alex?
Yes.
So I want to flip it to the race that is countering this really heavy, which is the white race, the Caucasian race.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And I grew up in Kansas, and I'm half Southern and half Midwestern.
Uh-huh.
And I grew up with Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson on my living room wall, which was a very difficult thing to do every single day.
Oh, yeah.
And as a girl who grew up in a white family with a Southern father who was military concepted, it took me until about a year and a half ago to resolve a lot of the pain and the suffering I felt because of the confusion that comes from growing up in America, the melting pot of the world, where there are different contexts for every single individual that lives on this country. And so, you know, I'd like to know how we can shift and be the change for the white people in this country, so that we can shift, and because that has got to shift too, Alex. It's got to shift.
Pause for a second, please. Take a deep breath. Release.
Thank you.
We are the instrument of change. So allow the emotions to come out, but also to release it, yes? So you can hear better, okay? So did you all hear that she grew up inside a family where dad was so strong and she knew, she got confused in which is right and which is wrong, yes? Do you remember, I was just educated that the South was fighting for the right to have slavery, is it not? And the North was fighting for we should be one nation and that should be abolished, is it not? So she said something very clearly, that there are people that are still fighting for their right. You get that? Because the generation haven't completely shifted out of that. You know, you see what I'm saying? There is a shift of, if you understand that these people that train their kids, this is the way it is, they're still going through that as it is. And by the way, the way I shared with you, be the change applies to any person, to black, white, or indifferent or Chinese or anybody. Be the change. Is completely applicable. That's why I shared it this way. It's not just for the black people to change. It's for the white people, for the Chinese people, because I've been called chink. I've been called to go back to my own country when, the railroad workers, okay? I've been told that. Got it? And so if I buy into that and not be the change, I will be angry. But I educate that person instead of getting angry at that person. So you now understand, you've got to learn how to be that change and the method of delivery. Are you coming from love? Or are you creating a video? Or are you creating a book? Or are you speaking? What platform do you want to choose to be that change? You can share your struggles and how do I help my family to see that this is the new world. They need help as much as we do, you get that? But the only way we can help them, I said, is educate yourself. Because if you cannot educate yourself, how could you be good? You'll be afraid of the world. But once you understand that, the fear disappears. And so you have to have the courage to face it and to understand it and to learn. And once you learn it, you can master it. You become so easy. When you master that, there's no more fear. So conversations that are deep and powerful are what is important now, yes? The willingness, and I was watching a show, I wish I had recorded it. They were willing to ask questions, both black and white. Why is it so uncomfortable? What can I do? I love that. They were asking questions like you were. They were asking the black people the questions. And the two people I wish I had recorded like that. They were very beautiful and very eloquently put. They said that we're standing for the change, not for the bad people, but for the system. And they're coming from love. They said, we want the system to change so that everybody can see the new way. It's beautiful, yes? It's not just one person, it's not one side, it's both sides. You see that? So you got to choose, though. Like I said, you got to wake up to what do I want to play? And this is going to happen whether we like it or not. This is not just going to happen here, it's going to happen out throughout the world. Why? Because that's the generation time, the cycle of things. Because the next cycle is even more interesting when you introduce aliens again, okay? Or you ask space from out, you introduce a being that is completely different. People are going to be scared as well. So it's a conversation that is coming, whether we like it or not. Okay? So we just have to be on top of it for ourselves. People don't realize that there's so many existence of life that it's kind of arrogant to think that we're the only person that exists in the whole galaxy, in the whole world. The only human being exists. When we are just a speck of dust in the galaxy.
You talking about us again, Alex?
What's that?
You talking about us again?
I couldn't quite hear you.
I said, are you talking about us again?
Talking about you guys again. Yes, that's right. And next time, I was telling everybody, I said, I think I need to get an intergalactic conference together for everybody to come and talk and share their wonderful existence. Okay, so I'm coming back to the existence of what the role that we want to play in this life, yes? And how do we process this and what do we want to do? Go ahead, Peggy, ask,
There is, and I don't know of the overarching name of this, but I know that there is a movement that pairs white facilitators and black facilitators, and they have a group, a small group, maybe 8 or 10 people, and they go through a very powerful conversation over a period of 8 or 10 weeks. And I know somebody that's white in Indianapolis that is involved in that. And I know somebody black here that's involved in that. If anyone is interested, I can hook them up with my friends.
Yeah, do me a favor. If you got that information, can you post it on my Facebook page under this video?
Yes, I would be very interested in that.
And I don't know if I know how to do that, Alex.
Okay, you can just email it to me, and I'll put it there for everybody. Is that all right?
I'm a little IT.
No, don't be sorry. We will work it out. There's no sorry. It's just what it is.
Okay.
You know, and thank you for sharing that information.
Well,
would that be helpful for you guys?
Yes, thank you, Peggy. That would be great for me.
Okay. For both sides, you know, we have to find out both sides what needs to be done. Do you understand that?
Hey, Alex.
Yes, Ashley.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I wanted to ask it earlier, but I also wanted to give everybody the opportunity that was speaking. But if we could just go back to a statement that you had made when you were sharing. And I just wanted to start off by first saying that I really want to, you know, praise you on the courage that it takes to share those types of experiences. And this goes for everyone that's shared tonight. But one of the things that really resonated with me that really I really wanted to get some information on was you had said that, you know, we're all scared of people, and people, you know, are scared of us. Like, we're in like kind of like cycle of fear. So I was wondering, could you like maybe hit on that a little bit, because I feel like that's something that tends to resonate with me.
Okay, so I just want to understand the question. You said we are going through a cycle that there's a lot of fear going on both sides. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like you had said something specific around, I think you were trying to connect it to what you had went through when you were a child around, people are scared, we're scared of people, and people are scared of us. Like, that was the exact thing that you used, is like in life, we walk around acting scared.
Thank you. Now I understand what you're referencing. Okay, because my discovery, because I was so afraid of the world. I was so angry at the English people. So I actually have to bring closer to myself that I now can be happy with English people, and I still enjoy fish and chips, okay? So I'm not gonna go kill every English people anymore, okay? In the past, I just don't want to. And it's like the transformation I had to go through to get to be able to speak to them and to be loving to them. There was so much anger inside of me. So what I'm saying to you, in the past, what I discovered was inside the training that I have, when I stand next in front of people, and people, you know, I'll do some of this workshop that we do it, and you stand in front of each other and look at each other and get closer and closer and closer, you will feel the fear of each other shows up. And what I discovered, and we go through the whole room in many different places, is that what I discovered is many people have fears just as I have. I didn't know that because I never encountered people. I didn't want to be with people. I hide from people. So I didn't know that people are afraid as bad as I am. You get that?
But afraid of what?
They're afraid of everything, a lot of things. You know, it's like afraid of the other person. Afraid of the other person thinking about them.
Yeah.
Okay, afraid of them judging us. You get that? So a lot of things that people are afraid of. It really is funny. Okay? And so I said to you that I discovered that people are afraid of the same things I am. So why do I have to be afraid of them? So I had to shift to the, like, no, I want to make friends with them now. I want to have fun with them. I want to help them release their fear to be okay and to be fun with me. So I have to be the change that I'm not going to be the instrument that wherever I go, Larry always laughs, everywhere you go, Alex, people just don't want to talk to you. It's because I choose to be the one to initiate the conversation and to dismiss any fear or doubt when they come next to me. Okay, I don't care what social norm they have. I say when they come to me, we were sitting in the breakfast restaurant in Pango, and the B place or something like that. I forgot what the name is. And we were sitting right next, and there's a couple sitting there from Kansas City, and we're sitting, and we ended up talking like we know each other for a long time. Okay, she says, you just love to do it. And I said, we just have a good time. Everywhere we go, people. I said, I choose. In the past, I'm so afraid to even say that. I hope, I'm so afraid. I like to eat like the English style. So it's like, I hope they don't think I'm funny or stupid to eat this way. None of that conversation exists anymore. I change all of that. Even when people look at me, if my hair is all messed up, I say they still love me. I don't have to have the perfect hair to be able to have a conversation with them. I don't have to have the perfect clothes to have that. I choose that. So the fear that I used to have is no longer here. If they laugh at me, I'm okay too. I give them full permission to express themselves. So it takes courage on my part to be me, yes?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is, you will discover, if you have the courage to overcome your own fear, that the world, because if we come from fear, we will actually create a world that is very scary. I didn't know that. Once I saw that, the law of attraction said, if I'm scared, it will show up. You get that? And so I said, nope, I'm going to choose fun, friendly people. Wherever I go, whatever restaurant, just like the Kansas City, even if I'm on a line in Busch Gardens, I'm going to have fun with the people behind and in front of me. Okay? So I have fun everywhere I go. Even in New York, it's like I go walk in the streets, I'm just going to have fun. In the bagel place, the Nazi bagel store, okay? We're going to have fun as well. So it was funny. It's like, I just enjoyed it because I shifted my conversation. I don't want to talk to nobody. I mean, literally, I'm invisible, okay? I use the ninja skill of being disappear from everybody, okay? So what I'm saying to you is, yes, we all have fear. And that's why I help a lot of people overcome that. Okay, we all have fear. And if we don't overcome that, guess what? It will show up everywhere, and it will actually bring people that will want to scare us. You get that? It will bring people to scare us instead of saying, no, I want to bring loving people into my life now. Okay, so it's up to you to create the world that you want and to change that. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Robert.
I'd like to make a comment that a few years ago, when Harriet was sick, we had a black nurse, and over a period of 5 years, I got an education on Black Lives Matter and the things that Black people had to go through, and over that period of time, it changed my perspective tremendously. And just like, and in simple things, today I went shopping. You know, you have to stand in line at the register and stuff. So, and I got talking to a black lady, well, maybe in her 60s, and just casual conversation. And then I said, gee, I can't see your smile. And she lifted up her mask and gave me a nice smile. And this is the kind of things that we have to do.
Yes. Perfect. You know, you can see how by personally experience it, you found a way to express it and be able to share with them. Yes?
Yes.
But we have to go and discover that. You see what I'm saying?
Thank you for sharing that, Robert.
Yeah, sitting in our room will not discover that. You get that? But you live that life. A black nurse will make a difference. You see that?
Yes.
It really is like, you know, but there's a lot of beautiful stories. And I'm really impressed with a lot of people, you know, and I just happen to be able to pull out something. But there's a lot of new shows that are really having powerful conversations that's beautiful. is really helping people see both sides. So if you just start to look for the shows that are good, okay? So here's what I'm saying to you. The Black people, the culture in that world, the way they live their life, and to other cultures that are not used to them, including me in the past, is scary. You get that? Because their way is different. They have so much more energy, so much more volume, so much more strength. It's different. So they're helping us understand who they are. Just like one football player was saying that, I'm a big Black dude. He says, if I go to the mailbox, I would scare the white people that's taking their mail. She says, I would sit in the car and wait for her to go because I don't want to scare her. Very considerate. But he's a gentle person, but he's Black and big and scared this white person. He understood that. Okay? So how could we help them share their story where it is them that is safe? We have to learn how to be safe with them, and they have to learn how to be safe with us. Yes?
Yes.
It really is an education process.
But
when I stand right next to a football player, you know how big they are? I am such a skinny person. I'm just like one of their thighs or their leg. And I'm so short. And the basketball player is so big, it's like I'm just one of the little leg. So it's not a comfortable spot to be in. Okay, so how can I be comfortable, and how can I get them to come down to my level and make me comfortable? So we have to learn all of that to coexist. But how do we learn? We have to educate ourselves. Like I'm learning from them as much as possible. And they have to help us be willing. Like I have to help my kids on how to relate to me. In the past, I was angry, and now I'm not. So if they can help us understand that they are not all violent, or they are not all scary, just like not all whites are skinheads. No. Okay, not all Blacks are bad. And not all Chinese are kung fu people. It's like I have a stereotype that all Chinese people know kung fu. And it's like they're mean. It's like, okay, or they are the triads. I have to educate them and say, I'm Chinese, but I'm not from that world. Thank you for thinking I'm that, but I'm not.
But Alex, I can go back to the late 50s. When I was teaching in a predominantly Black school and became friendly with a Black teacher. We used to have a lot of conversations and everything. And this was at the time when they were starting to make the laws that they had to have so many, percentage of Black people, and you couldn't fire them and everything else. And this teacher said to me, he said, this is the worst law that ever can be created, because it is setting us into groups. And throughout my life, I could see that groups. I could even see it with my father, where he was working. He had a Black person that wasn't doing a good job, but he couldn't fire him. And so he became bitter, and the Blacks became bitter. So it set up this one group against the other group. And if it would have, the government would not have gotten involved in that, I think maybe we would have been getting together closer much quicker.
Good point.
Yeah, so you see how the history has created a lot of problems, yes?
Yes.
And that's why I say it's really important for us to have the courage to look at history to solve that. You get that?
Yes.
It really is to erase that. Like I say, the history is what they are. Like some people, how many people? If you go into a taxi cab, like Elizabeth, if you go into a taxi cab in New York, how do you think you're gonna be treated if you're white versus if you're black? You walk into a taxi cab, just black, nothing different. You know, if they don't know you, it will have different treatment. So how do we educate them to say that you can treat them the same? Make sense? Because the history says this is what, you know, all it takes is, remember, one person, like one English boy. All it takes is one English boy to screw me up. You get that? I completely was angry at the whole race. Okay. So I have to have the courage to bring closure to that. It was funny because inside one of our training, introduction leaders training program, I was sitting in the front row in Baltimore, and the Landmark Forum trainer, he walks right in. He says, "Oh, we want to introduce you a new Landmark Forum leader and to share with you." And he walks in, and he's from England. Oh my God. I was sitting in front, and I was starting to get angry because I was so pissed, and my hands, and my people, my friends that were standing for me, they came to me and said, "Alex, you need to get this over. You need to get this over." So this powerful leader was helping me say, "Are you angry at me? I don't even know you." You know? So he really walked me through the whole process of seeing that I finally end up giving him a hug and was at peace with the English people. And then that very night, I was so angry at my mother for sending me to England to be in this terrible, torturous life for me. I was so angry with my mother. He made me call my mother that night to bring closure to that. I didn't talk to my mom for almost 7 years for angry at them. So like I said, I don't know how to share this. I have not shared a lot of these things, but some of these things is like, you know, but thank you for allowing me to share that. Okay, because it was painful for me. You know, a little boy, 13 years old, it was painful for me. There's nobody I can call, I'm all alone. That was the first time out of the country, you know, and there's no support structure other than the only people that was in the boarding school is priests, brothers, and nuns. And the brothers were so hard on me because they were saying that you don't understand this English. You don't understand the Bible. I have to write about the Bible every single day because it's a Catholic boarding school. And we had to write about, they said that I am interpreting everything wrong about the Bible. So I don't even know where to go, you know, and things like that. So I don't even know how to understand Catholic anymore. And I was an altar boy all my life. So, and not all my life, ever since once I can start becoming an altar boy. I was an altar boy. You know, I was altar boy 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening. I would be there for them. And Sundays I would do 3 service sometimes, you know, an altar boy. So I loved it. It was so meaningful for me. But when I get over there, it's like I get scared of Catholic because I can't get anything right. Okay, so what I'm saying is one thing could change everything. I have to complete it. The whites have to complete it. The blacks have to complete it. You get that? If there's no space to create that for them, they're going to still be angry. Make sense? So you guys ask really good questions. I wish I can learn how to see Facebook comments so I can answer them. So I'm going to have to go back over there and give them comment and share with them. You know, I was trying to create a technology with Zoom. Over Zoom here, I cannot see that over there. So I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find, you know, if you guys got somebody got a nice way to help me see that so I can actually respond to some of the Facebook comments that people make. So, but anyway, does this information help you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, because it applies both to black and white. You understand that? And to me even, Chinese even, okay? It applies all over the world. So be the change, be the instrument of change. And I want to thank each and every one of you for hearing this. And I want you all to do me a favor, because I love this song. And I want you all to hear this with me. And if you all have to go, that's fine too. You know, but I'm just going to play this song for you guys. And this song has meant, this prayer has meant so much to me ever since I was a little boy, like I said, an altar boy. So I want to play this with you guys so you guys can use this for yourself too. Because I said, we have to be the change. But most important, we also can be the instrument of change. So I'm going to play this song for you guys. Channel of your peace. There is hatred, let me bring your love. Can you all hear it?
Yes.
There is injury, your pardon, Lord. Where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. There's despair in life, let me bring hope. There is darkness, only light. Where there's sadness, ever joy. Oh, Master, grant that I may never see so much to be consumed as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. Isn't pardoning that we are pardoned, giving of ourselves we receive, dying that on to eternal life.
Beautiful.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex, for everything.
Just beautiful.
You guys, it is such a pleasure to share. You guys stretch me to share things that I don't share, or how to put it all together, and to think of things that. So I've been pushed. So thank you.
So Alex?
Yes.
Not necessarily related to what you were saying, but there was false information that you put out.
Who's talking? Let me see. I cannot see. Who?
We don't have the video on, Alex. We got.
So June.
It's Lawrence. Okay, I couldn't see you. I don't see where you are, so I was trying to figure out who was talking. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Lawrence, thank you. Go ahead.
June 19th, 1865 was the date that Major General Gordon Granger and the Union troops reached Galveston, Texas, with news of the end of the Civil War. The Union ended slavery during the Emancipation Proclamation, which was 2.5 years earlier, and the Confederacy ended slavery before the beginning of the Civil War. So that's the Civil War was not about slavery at all.
Okay, so it's not about slavery. Thank you for correcting me. And like I said, I'm learning about all of this American history here. So, and thank you for. It's like I was looking at the website. There's so many different timelines of when things started to the slavery ended. You know, it's like in England it ended a long time before also. So it's like all of this. But what is important is whatever it takes generations to shift. Yes.
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 Yeah. So thank you for giving me the facts, and I will definitely look at that. And like you know me, my details are not 100%. You know, like my email. So, but I know the gist of it.
Yes. Hey, Alex.
Okay, Karen, so good to see you. Okay, so I miss you guys. You know, my space is not big enough for everybody to be 6 feet apart to be able to come together here. So you know, that's why I had to do it online again still. So maybe when the time comes, you guys can all come here and party. We can have a good time together.
Yay.
It's like a big party when we can do it.
Yay. Party outside. Party
Okay.
on.
Thank you so much, everybody. You all have a good evening. And I only get a glimpse of Elizabeth's mother. She's so shy. So next time we're going to have some bigger glimpse. You're going to get a wider view.
She had to go to sleep about 2 minutes ago, but she said, so beautiful. And I said, Mom, what was your takeaway? And she said, how I think about myself and the way I perceive myself is the way the world sees me. So to be the change in the world, I have to change myself.
Wow, that is a good takeaway.
Yeah.
That is a great takeaway.
I think Gandhi said that quote about being the change you want to see.
Gandhi.
Gandhi?
Yeah.
Gandhi said that.
Thank you. Perfect. So that just chimed in last night and it's perfect. So now we can use Gandhi's quote and be the change that makes a difference in this world. Yes. So it applies to his concept works. Okay. So and so now you see my world, and I would like to hear your world sometime soon. Okay. So everybody have a great evening, and thank you for staying around, and new faces, and Kianda, thank you for being here, and your mom, give her a hug for me tomorrow morning. Okay. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. And thank
Bye-bye, everybody on Facebook. Thank you for staying around. Okay.